2005 GMC Sierra. Customer complaint is, well, the vehicle is dead. Well, it had a bad battery. Put a different battery in it. They don't know if it has a parasitic draw. Runs like crap. I guess it's sat for a couple years. So anyways, long story short, well, for right now anyways, put a new battery in. Key on engine off. Key on engine off. I got my scope hooked up, class 2 data, 0 volts for bias voltage going 7 volts, 7 1/4. Dash looks good. Holy crap, 308,000 miles. 309,000. It's a lot. Light's not on, but try to start it. Nothing. Sometimes it'll start. So now look. Look at the waveform. It's all washy, going below 0. Sometimes it'll start, sometimes it won't. And then if it does run, it runs like crap. But look at that waveform all over the place, going down below 0, the bias voltage. Once in a while, the cluster will act up. And we'll get like these power surges, which I'm not getting at now. Now I got no cluster messages. What is going on with this thing? No, I got no Prindo or nothing going on. Hasn't done that before. It's in park. Could hear it trying to crank there a little bit. The bus looks a little, man, it's still going down. Looks a little better there. Park, reverse, neutral. Same thing. It's like the starter's almost sticking. Earlier, this whole dash would like flicker, and so would the lights on the vehicle as well. Well, we'll do a full system scan next, but yeah, look at that bus. It's all messed up now. All wavy all over the place. On pin 2. While we're doing a full system scan, so earlier when I scanned this, the PCM had like a bunch of codes, so did the BCM. There are codes as such as no control circuit for fuel pump, coils, injectors, random stuff. I cleared it, and we'll see what's coming back. Like I said earlier, the dash was, if I can catch it to do it on video again, it was flickering pretty good. It's not doing that now. So we'll see what we got here when we're done. Alright, see what we got here. And the PCM, nothing. BCM, daytime running light, control circuit malfunction. And we got a class 2 data link malfunction. Instrument panel class 2 data link. And heat and air conditioner class 2 data link, which we saw on the scope. So yeah, all those class 2 data link malfunctions. Looks okay right there, but then it does kind of get wavy. I wanted this dash to act up again to show you guys what I was talking about earlier. Well, what I was doing earlier, basically, if I turn this off in cycle power, see how those lines do that in the center by the odometer? It kept doing that over and over again, and it would turn the lights on and off, flicker them, and surge battery voltage, and we get all this incorrupt data, which we're getting right now. We're not getting it on the cluster and the lights that prove that, or show that, I mean, but on the scope we 100% are. I think a way to move forward with this is we need to get to the Splice Pack 205, use the U-Isolate kit from AES Wave, and see what module is causing this bus issue. Alright, so I got some pins pulled up here. If you go crank request signal, I hold it in the crank. Eventually says yes. on the bottom there. Let go, eventually goes back to no. Now, do we got a starter issue too? I don't know. We definitely got a issue with our bus. Yeah, look at that. That's all messed up. We definitely need our AS Wave U Isolate kit. So I let it sit for a little bit, try to crank it, and look, it's doing that stuff I was talking about earlier in this video. And if you look at the battery voltage gauge, it's going crazy. Now, the lights were surging, but they're really not. Battery voltage is staying there on the meter. The lights were surging earlier when it was doing this, but it's not right now. Let's look at the scope real quick. All right, so it's still doing it. Look at that, all over the place. There's our zero line right there. Look at that waveform. Oh, crap. Let's go once. Zero's right there. Look at that. Looks like absolute crap. All over the place. Try to see if it starts. Nothing. It started earlier and it just died, and that's when it started doing this crap. So like I said, I'm gonna go grab probably the Autel Ultra, get a topology map going, and go after the Splice Pack 205 and go from there. Alrighty, I got the Autel Ultra using the scope on here. I did a topology. I don't know if I'll show it on video or not, but with the scan tool, all the modules that I needed talking are talking. So we had a good waveform here. 0 to 7.2 volts roughly. Cluster messages are good. But trying to get it to act up again. See if we can get it to act up at all. And it's not acting up right now. So our bus is not acting up right now. However, I did capture this issue right here. Once in a while, see it do this, which is kind of weird. Moving around. I don't see it acting up though right now. Of course, we have a no crank, no start. So I want to go after that splice pack, but I want to get it to act up again as well. Well, I'm not getting it to act up now. You can see those triangles in there once in a while. I do want to go to the splice pack just in case when it has issues, we can capture it. But I have a no crank, no start now. All right, so topology shows PCM engine oil pressure sensor circuit low. Well, I noticed the oil gauge would never read correctly, even when it was running, it didn't read correctly when I did have it running. Same the class 2 data stuff. Let's erase these. And then check it again. Well, I cleared them and checked them again. Nothing came up besides well, this wasn't there just a minute ago. We didn't have any class 2 data malfunctions. After I cleared it, I didn't capture it. This all went away, it cleared it, and the class 2 data malfunction did come back. That wasn't there a little bit ago. Which is weird, because I cleared them, it was gone, and now it came back. Class 2 data. Let's go to a single can here. I'm on pin 2. But I don't have a class 2 data network now. Issue. So I cleared the codes, no class 2 data network issues. The codes came back. I guess I missed it on the scope. When I crank, I get that triangle piece in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right to the starter relay, give it power, see if this thing cranks over. All right, so I'm giving power to 87 here. And it cranks over fine. Let's turn the key on and see if it even starts. Then we can check some other inputs and outputs. Nothing there. So now what we're going to do is go look at the schematic and see where the other side of the circuit is. All right, so what I checked now, I got 12 volts coming through here on this side, pin 30 on the relay. 87, we gave it power, it cranks over. We're going to go to the ground side and make sure the PCM is controlling it, which is right here. My assistant's going to crank it when I tell him to. Go ahead and crank. Hold it in the crank. So we got a ground there. Okay, let go. There's our constant 12 volts. Then this one here, turn the key off. This one right here should be 12 volts coming through. Go ahead and crank it. We're only getting 5 volts. That's why we're not getting a crank. We're only getting 5 volts to it. All right, so yeah, we only got 5 volts on that pin. Key on, engine off. I got the key on, engine off. Why are we getting a 5 volt reference on that? If I go here, 12 volts. I just got to hold it on good. 12 volts. Got to hold it good. 12 volts. Like I said, 12 volts. Nothing on this one. We got a 5 volt. Why do we have 5 volts there? When you clearly look at the schematic, we're only getting 5 volts there, which comes down through the park neutral switch. And I tried it at neutral and I got the same results. 5 volts comes up from this fuse. So we're going to take this battery fuse box, block underhood fuse box out and check on that side of the circuit that powers other stuff. So after going through all this, I have a 5 volt drop. I have a 5 volt, well, 5 volts coming out of this. So I have a voltage drop. Then I check this fuse. I have 5 volts across both terminals. Right here. Well, I was talking to Zach McLean from Elite Automotive Solutions, and he got me going on the right track. Once I found I had 5 volts out of this terminal here, which I shouldn't have had. Should have 12 with key on. Told me to check that 10 amp fuse, ignition E, see if I have a 5 volt or 12 volts. So I checked it, and I have 5 volts on both sides. So while I was on the phone with him, he's looking up schematics. He went to the power distribution from the ignition switch, and that red wire, I have 12 volts. That's what he told me to check. Then he said, go to the pink wire. Well, look at the pink wire. I got 4. Sometimes I have 5. So there's a voltage drop across the switch. I gave this power, and I cranked it, and I started it up, and everything went good. It started up, ran fine. Look, I got a 4 volt there. Look how messed the dash is messed up. Let me give it 12 volts. Look, it's good now. Let me get it go away. It's all messed up. See that? Now let's look on the scope while we do the same exact test. So Zach just confirmed that it's a bad ignition switch. I was going to go to the back of the fuse box and look and for a voltage drop and all this. But I'm glad he got me back on course, because I wouldn't have done nothing for me. He got me going in this direction, which saved me a significant amount of time. Again, that's Zach McLean in Arkansas, Elite Automotive Solutions. So now I'm gonna hook up the scope to show you guys some. I want to look at it on the, bus, because that's what I was kind of starting this video off with. All right, so you can see our waveform is pretty decent looking. There is some triangles in there you see once in a while. It'll come up. I don't know if it'll capture it on video or not, like right there. See, like that. Now, why did my other scope show when I used the breakout box all wavy like this? Maybe it's because I was using a breakout box in my system voltage. I'm not sure. But it's all messed up in the cluster now. I'm going to give this wire 12 volts. Because we only got 4. And look, that triangle went away once I give it voltage. The bus is so much better and cleaner looking. When I let go, it's all messed up. Cluster's messed up. Give it 12 volts. Goes good. The bus is so much better. Look at the voltage gauge. Give it voltage. Stabilizes. So 100% it needs an ignition switch. And now I'm doing it just with the oscilloscope, no breakout box. The bus is messed up, but it's pretty hashy. Well, and I'm on the wrong scale there. But you can see that triangle spot. Like I said, I give it voltage. Cleans way up. Let go. It's pretty messy. Now I'm using the breakout box with the oscilloscope. It's real messy. Hey, look at that. Now I know before on the other scope it was all swervy. It's just been doing all kinds of weird stuff, right? Well, if I clean this up, look at it, gets significantly better. And everything comes back. That's bad. And then it's good. 100% needs an ignition switch. Thanks to Zach McLean. Alright, so here's the old switch. Here's the new switch. Starts right up every time. Did like 5-6 times. We got an oil pressure gauge issue. I think it's a sending unit. We can do the sweep gauge test for that, and it's got an airbag light and stuff. Eventually. Yeah, right there. But night and day difference, and it runs really good. It hasn't ran like this, well, I suppose in 2 years probably. So yeah, that is it for this 2005 GMC Sierra. And again, I'd like to thank Zach McLean from Elite Automotive Solutions in Arkansas.